Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today I will guide you through the usage and care of your Omega Seamaster 300 Master Coaxial Dive Watch. This is an automatic winding timepiece that can nevertheless be manually wound by taking the crown and threading it counterclockwise until you feel it pop out of its threaded sleeve. At this point you can begin to turn in a clockwise direction, and the timepiece will be wound up to its maximum rated power reserve of 60 hours if you continue turning. Typically it takes 80 to 100 turns to completely wind the twin mainspring barrel coaxial caliber. However, only 30 to 40 turns are necessary to start the watch, at which point you can put it on your wrist having set it, and the caseback winding rotor will continue to energize the watch by means of the kinetic energy on your wrist. Again, should you wish to wind it fully, you can do so. Due to the bridle style mainspring arrangement, the watch cannot accidentally be overwound as it simply slips to allow excess strain to be released. Listen for the subtle click or tick as the bridle slips, and that's your audible cue that the watch is fully wound. Now, the timepiece can be set via two special means. The first is called the time zone function, and appropriately enough, it's useful for time zone jumpers if you're traveling. Note how in the intermediate position, 1 to 10th out from the winding position, you can step the hour hand forward and backwards without actually stopping the seconds hand or interfering with the minute hand. This is ideal if you do travel, and the timepiece can be set bidirectionally. There is no internal reason why the watch can't be set forward or backwards in this mode. There is a second time setting function. You'll note as the seconds hand approaches the index at 12, I grip the crown and I prepare to withdraw the crown to its outermost position. So as your seconds hand approaches 12, the index that effectively represents 0, wait for it to align, then pull the crown out to its second stop. This is all the way out. This is what's known as stop seconds or hacking. At this point, everything has halted. The balance no longer oscillates. Stop the seconds hand at 12 and then find an accurate online source, such as an atomic clock accurate to your time zone. And what you want to do is, let's say we're talking about setting a watch to 10:14. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to set the watch to 10:15, 1 minute ahead of the current time. So you're only ever going to be up to 60 seconds ahead of the current time. Wait for that reference time to catch up with the hour, minute, and second that you see on the watch face, and when they coincide, push the crown back in. Now you've synchronized precisely to a reference time. It's important to note that for protection against impact, as well as maintenance of rated water resistance, you want to screw that crown down all the way to the stop every time you're finished using it. Now let's talk a bit about the bezel itself. The bezel is unidirectional rotating. It's what's known as a dive bezel. So it's ratcheting, but it only ratchets in one direction. The idea is that you cannot accidentally extend your dive, only accidentally shorten it. What you do is you line up that luminescent pearl, which is the small insert, and line it up against the minute. That's the most typical arrangement, though you can use the bezel as a timing mechanism against the hours, but then you simply follow the sweep of the minutes hand all the way up to 60. It's a convenient timing mechanism while you dive or simply bill hours. Now, the watch features a Ceragold insert, so it's a combination of black ceramic and inlaid gold that is highly scratch resistant. Maintain all of the same measures and precautions you would take to preserve your bezel that you would take to preserve your sapphire crystal. So while it's highly scratch resistant like the sapphire, avoid exceptionally hard blows against solid objects to preserve the longevity of this highly resistant material. The bracelet can be sized by removing the individual screws for the sizable links. However, there is a push-button slider internal to the clasp that allows you 9.6 millimeters of incremental adjustment. You can deploy it entirely, for example, if you want to use the watch over a diving suit, or you can make small adjustments as your wrist may expand or contract during periods of activity, inactivity, hot or cold weather. There are two primary areas of hazard with respect to the handling of your watch, and you're going to want to keep them both in mind: water resistance and shock. Thanks to developments in amagnetic materials, specifically the Si-14 hairspring inside the watch, magnetism is no longer considered to be a critical threat to an Omega Master chronometer. However, water resistance needs to be kept in mind because though this is a 300-meter water-resistant diving watch, nevertheless, Over time, water resistance will ebb as seals age and lubricants degrade. Therefore, you want to ensure that you have your watch water tested on an annual basis per Omega's instruction. Take it to an authorized service center and have a dry water test to ensure that your watch still meets expected factory design tolerances prior to beginning the aquatic season, typically in early spring. This is also a good time to have the total condition, physical, water resistance, and chronometric performance of your watch checked. Also, you can help avoid accidental drownings by keeping that crown threaded down. Never withdraw the crown or attempt to use any of its setting functions while the watch is submerged or even while there is water on the case, as this can introduce water to the interior of the timepiece to catastrophic cosmetic and mechanical effects. It's important to note that this watch is robustly shock resistant and meets international standards of shock resistance. That said, every fine mechanical timepiece does have limits. Therefore, it's advised that you discontinue use of the watch during concussive activities such as batting, tennis, or golf, firearms marksmanship, or the riding of mountain bikes or ATVs. Ultimately, per Omega, every Omega timepiece does require a periodic comprehensive service. This should be performed roughly every 4 to 5 years. It should be performed exclusively at an authorized service center of Omega, where trained personnel, specialized tools, and original Omega factory replacement parts are available to preserve the watch as both investment and as instrument. Moreover, only these agencies, authorized by the factory or the factory itself, are able to back all labor and parts invested with an original Omega factory service warranty. To learn more about the care of this or any Omega fine timepiece, visit our website at govbergwatches.com and call, text, or email our experts who are standing by to guide you through the entire ownership process.